Hi everyone, I'm David Dean Hastings, and today we'll be talking about the rapier parries and how to get to them. So what we're talking about are the paths to parry, how I get from one parry to another. If I'm in my on-guard stance and I parry 2, and I decide that I want to execute a parry of 3, I make this motion that looks like a semicircle, and this is a semicircular path. If I want to go to a parry of 7 from this position, I rotate my wrist and come across the vertical center line, and that is a diagonal parry. Once again, if I keep my wrist and hands supinated, I've gone from 7 to 4, semicircular. If I just want to go across from 4 to 3, I just pronate my hand, I bring it across, or I supinate my hand and bring it across. This is a direct parry. I'm going directly across without crossing the midline. If I execute a semicircular parry down to 7, I can do the same thing. Direct parry, I pronate my hand, I bring it across to the other side without crossing the midline. Semicircular, diagonal, direct. And those are the paths to the parry. Let's talk about another path of the parry. If I can do a semicircular path, I can also do a circular path. If I am in, let's say, a parry of 2, and I decide I want to go back to the parry of 2, I bring this rapier out through the vertical center line, and I describe a circle coming back to the same line. As you can see, I've created a circle back to the same line. I could also go from a parry of 2 to a parry of 7. Could I do a direct parry to 7? Absolutely. But there may be a reason, choreographically, visually, that I want to do a circular parry to go from 2 to 7, and it would look something like this. I come outward from a vertical center line by describing this big circle, and I come over here. I can do the opposite. I could go from 7 to 2. I'm still describing that 360-degree circle. Now, if I go from 2 to 7, that's a different line. I went from the outside line to the inside line, or from the inside line to the outside line. I've described this circle. So those are circular parries. But if I am in a particular line, let's say I'm in the low outside line, and I describe a circle and I come back to the same line, it is a circular parry, but it is also a counter parry. If I am in a particular line and I create a circle and I come back to that same line, I am creating a counter parry. Counter parry. Right? Counter parry. So there is a difference between circular parries and counter parries. With a circular parry, all I need to do is describe a 360-degree circle, and that's a circular parry. But if I'm in a particular line, and I describe that circle and I come back to the same line, that is a counter parry. So I want to make an important distinction with the counter parries. In order to be a counter parry, the parry must counter the action of a reprised attack. In other words, the circle in the same line doesn't make it a counter parry. The fact that it is a response to a second attack in the same line does. So someone is attacking your low outside line, I parry it. They're doing another attack to that same line, and that is what makes this a counter parry. Important distinction, everyone. So, all counter parries are circular parries, but not all circular parries are counter parries. Remember that. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Thank you very much.